This old guy DIY video has to do with modifying a zero-turn mower with a leaf catching attachment on it so we get better flow. So as purchased, the previous owner had put this 45 for HVAC stuff on here. Looking in there, you can see the flow is kind of interrupted. And here we've got a pretty good diameter. So I was trying to figure out how to make this thing better. So as I was walking through the barn, I found a paint can, and this is a plastic. It's pretty heavy duty, and surprisingly, it's the same diameter as this thing. So what I'm thinking is I'll take the grinder, grind the bottom off, then I'll cut the top off, and I'll have a nice piece of heavy tube that's the size I need. I can have a nice low resistance transition here if things work out. So I'll give it a shot. The grinder with a cutoff wheel made short work of the paint can. Here's the bottom, here's the top. The other thing I learned is dried paint feels right out of there when you've cut the ends off and you can get the angle easily. So this is a pretty nice little heavy duty piece of tubing. I think with just a little bit of modification, I can make this thing fit nicely. I considered taping the joint as the previous guy had done, but I thought as this thing's vibrating around the yard, it would probably shake loose. The diameter here was pretty close to the size. So I took these heavy pieces of plastic that I had laying around from another project, and you can see I went in and put 1/8" pop rivets in there with the backing washers. So now I have a nice joint here. I'll just tape over that when I'm done. That will also leave an easy place to separate this assembly if and when it gets jammed up. Looking at this end and trying to decide how I wanted to mount it, I noticed that these little tabs on the paint bucket will tuck in here and they actually run into a couple of the ribs, so it stops it in position. So I'll just fasten that paint bucket to the end of this tube and I should be in good shape. As I got into this, I decided my better option was to add the paint can to this discharge chute, and then my separation point will be right here. This thing slips over the top pretty nicely, so I'll just make an attachment that goes from here to there to hold it on, and then it should be easily detached, and in the meantime it'll stay right where it's supposed to. This is a solution I settled on to hold it together. So I just took a piece of paracord and put it between a couple of the ribs up here. So that's wrapped around, and I have 2 attachment points, one on each side. Then I came down here and just took an L bracket and bent it into a J. And I just screwed that into the heavy plastic. And I use this S-clip to keep the thing engaged. If and when it gets jammed up, it's just a matter of shutting the machine off, taking the S-clip off, separating these 2 parts, and I'll have easy access to whatever's stuck in there. So this little freelance engineering project took me about an hour. Cost me about 27 cents in rivets because I had everything in the barn. And this is the technique I came up with today. So I hope this little video helps you, and have a great day. I just ran this thing for a couple minutes, filled up the baskets twice, and that little attachment works out great. So thank you for watching.